Hey, everybody.
Greg, not every trip is perfect. We've had our share of mistakes and mishaps, like losing someone's sweatshirt.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're going to have some fun. We want to hear from you too. What was your biggest mistakes and mishaps, whether you created them yourself or someone else created them for you? All that is coming up next on
D&G Explorers. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show. It is Wednesday, May. What's the date?
May 28th.
May 28th. There you go.
This will be the last show we ever do
This
in May
year
of
May.
2025.
There you go.
Yes. If you guys remember this, we thought this was kind of a fun little shirt. It was
It's still backwards.
It is. It's our special live stream t-shirts. Jim from More Sunshine Please made this for us because way back when we first started, something happened with YouTube and we did probably 5 or 6 shows where everything was reversed. So Jim, being Mr. Funny, he did the shirts for us backwards so they would appear regular, that you would watch it regular. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we haven't seen Jim in a while. Hopefully he's doing okay down in sunny Florida.
Hot Tampa area. They are very hot. Speaking of heat, so our topic today, we're going to be discussing
it's been a little hot
made,
today, actually.
But we always like to start the show by just talking about this and that.
We do have a nice breeze right now.
A little bit,
just
but
we're in the house.
We're going to be 91 today. We're going to be 91 tomorrow. On Friday, we go up to 101. Now they predicted a little bit cooler weather on Saturday. We're only going to be 105.
That is not cooler. I'm sorry.
It was supposed to be 106.
That is weather that Nancy would love because she loves the sunshine. I love the sunshine too, but not at that degree of hotness.
Is hot. So we are not looking forward to 101 temperature, even 105. But we'll get through it. It's pretty early for us to get into the triple digits, but it's not uncommon for us to have 100 degrees in May. Just pretty rare.
It's going to be June by the time that hits. So really, it's going to be summer pretty soon.
It'll still be May when we go to 100 degrees.
Today's the 28th. Thursday the 29th, 30th. Oh, the 31st is Saturday. Yep. Oh, the last day. They're gearing up for the summer.
I just hope it's not as hot as it has been. But Greg, why don't we welcome
Memorial Day is the unofficial start of summer.
So summer's already started then.
Unofficially. But we got, speaking of nautical nurse Nancy, welcome. And we got Angela, Nima, checka. We got Just Dave, welcome. Holly Ayers. Excuse me, Mary Ellen Dillon, or Med for short.
Hey, you remembered.
Of course I remember. We got Najuma Brown. And we have Cheryl One Deck Down. Welcome. And we are cut up for now. So welcome everybody, and hopefully more people come in as we go along.
Mary Ellen Dillon says definitely don't want any 90s. The one thing on the good thing about us, we don't have high humidity. If it was 101 and humidity,
like this wind would be nice. If it were that hot in the wind, it would still be blowing around the heat, but at least it would be feeling better.
Yeah. So. But the room we're in, we don't have a ceiling fan. But we do have the front windows open. You might be hearing the birds singing in the background, and I'm pretty sure our neighbor will be starting to do his
nibble.
I've gone back to England
again. Neighbor.
I've gone back to my English accent.
Our neighbor is out there every day. Good on him.
Yeah.
Blowing his yard with the leaf blower and everything. Just staying busy. So. Excuse me, he's retired, him and his wife, so it doesn't bother us. You just see him out there every day doing something.
So Mary Ellen was telling nautical nurse Nancy that you'll be there on Creek Street soon. Do you remember Creek Street? See if you can remember our travel stuff. We went to Creek Street
in Alaska. Mm-hmm. Yes, I remember that.
Yep. Do you remember
you have to go there? Wasn't that in Ketchikan?
Good job. I'm proud of you. Yes, that was when we were on the Discovery Princess.
Well, thank you, but I do remember the special moments. You know?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of special moments. Why don't we have a dilly dilly?
Oh, that's a special moment all its own.
Here we go. Mary Ellen says, it's been 106 humid where my team is in India for the past couple of weeks. Oh, my gosh.
Where her team is? What team?
She must have a team in India.
Huh.
All right, we're gonna have a shandy. We've talked about this before, but this is what we like to make for our shandies.
Oh, it's not a twist, huh?
No, you got it. Here, I got it though.
Oh, and we're using these beautiful Disneyland Railroad glasses. All aboard Grand Circle Tour Disney Street US, or what does that say? Main Street, USA, and then it has Disney Theme Park Railroad. So it was actually Walt Disney World.
Bierstein.
I have no idea what just fell outside.
I think it's the wind blew the tarp.
Something.
Or someone's have a canopy out there and it took it.
It's kind of like a whoosh.
Yeah. So what I like to do first is I like to put this 7-Up in first. I'm hoping I balanced it right and we have a big enough cup.
Well, this is a lemon lime flavored
7-Up.
7-Up.
Yeah.
Duh. I thought it was something new.
All right. And then we have the Bud Light, which is lime.
Oh, Jackie was giving Scrappy a bath. Oh my God, I've never seen him do that before. That's so cute. The cats are licking each other, giving each other a bath.
All right. So I put, you see there's not much head on there. And this basically has filled up.
This is ice coming out of it.
Because I put it in the freezer. Oh, I can't drink it yet.
It's
so
like
Holly says it is 55 degrees in there right now. I would like for you to sing for my happy belated birthday song, please.
Who?
Angela.
Oh, yes, we'll have to do that.
Angela, when was your birthday? I'm trying to think. Wait a minute. When was that?
Yeah, I didn't see anything about it.
Was she on a trip? She might have been on a trip. Angela just came back from an amazing trip, crossing the country.
Look at how beautiful that pour looks.
I don't have the arm strength to do that. Dilly dilly. That is a great summer drink. If you don't like beer, I'm not a big beer fan. It takes the bitterness of it and it makes it a little bit sweeter.
Yep.
We
Happy
have
birthday,
Waypoint
Angela.
Explorers, dilly everyone.
Welcome.
Our buddies from Central California, from the coast, Pepper Tree Villa. They go
Welcome.
live every Monday at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Definitely
And
check them out.
We have It's Cruising
Cruising
Karen and Waypoint Explorers.
Angela turned 40.
Welcome.
Angela turned 21 on the 18th, not 40. What are you talking about? So it was the 18th. Okay, awesome. So Greg, okay, let's do it since we haven't had a chance to
I'm giving you bedtime, Angela.
do it. Let's
I'm
do
like,
our
21.
our world
No.
famous D&G Explorers happy birthday song that hardly anyone's ever heard. But we're gonna do it.
Wow.
Ready?
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy day.
Do we have a birthday here?
We have a birthday here.
Birthday here.
Birthday here. Whoa! Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy day. Hey!
Happy
birthday.
21. Angela or Mary Ellen says, I've got some Irish cider. I should pour one of those. That sounds very good. I love myself some cider.
Oh, speaking of, our neighbor is out and starting to do his yard work or whatever he's doing every day. Keeps him busy.
Yes. So, yes, we got a nice fresh drink. Another thing we did today, I forgot I hadn't done this with the cruise that we just went on. I put in my information. So Pepper Tree Villa will be proud. I did my order for the dream book. I put it in today.
For our stuff. But then you also forgot our slip. And I had to tell you, and you had to come back and get it and then go and
I got my oil change, and I'm getting frustrated because I couldn't figure out how to
and I called out of the goodness of my heart.
I couldn't figure out how to reset my oil thing to show that it needed oil change, and it was 100%. And Greg calls me, and I'm like all frustrated, and he says, "You forgot. You need to come back home." I go, "Why?" And he said,
out of the goodness of my heart, and I still get reprimanded. I'm just playing.
Debbie Emanuel, our
welcome.
friend from, if I remember, from the Sacramento area. Okay, do your birthday song. We did love
your birthday song.
There you go.
Thank you.
I didn't want to miss it. Man, I am starting to really sweat. So, Greg, any other fun things? We saw Lilo and Stitch over the weekend.
In 4DX 3D.
Yes. I don't think you needed to see it in 4DX.
I thought
or
it was
even 3D.
I thought it was fun. I liked it.
I didn't really see any special effects like the old days when they would like throw stuff at you and that.
It's more of depth. And the 4DX, I liked it with the spaceships and everything. I thought it was a very, very cute movie. Yeah, with the surfing. Ryan Donahue, welcome.
Welcome. I'm not a big Stitch. I like Stitch is okay. It's Greg's favorite.
I love Stitch. Stitch is my second favorite character because they're Hanami's family and no one gets left behind.
After Tigger.
Yeah.
And I love Greg's Stitch voice. But I've seen the cartoon, but it's been a long time since I've really sat down and watched it.
It was really cute.
And Greg asked the night before we went, he goes, "Do you want to watch the cartoon?" I said, "No, because I don't want to compare." And I hear a lot of people who complain about it. They're comparing the two, and I wanted to take it for its own entity, not mixing it. And I'm glad I did that.
It was
very emotional.
Yes, it was. It has made over $340 million
worldwide.
Excuse me, worldwide, and I think over 120 million domestically. But it has done very well.
It's made back what?
It's made back its money and then some.
100 million. People were saying that that they did it on a budget of 100 million.
Yeah.
When is $100 million a cheaply made movie? I'm sorry.
It was originally made for Disney Plus, so the quality wasn't going to be like it.
I didn't notice that though. Did you?
No. Well, they put more money into it. The quality of Disney Plus movies might be a little different than a theatrical release. So they wanted to make it a theatrical release. They put the money into it. It cost them $100 million just for advertising. So over $340 million worldwide. You could say they made their money back tenfold. And they're already talking about a sequel.
I thought that was already done. That it was already not made, but it was already agreed.
Not made, but they've been talking about getting that going. I told Derek if they do they're gonna have to do it quickly because that little girl's gonna grow. So, and she was really cute. She did a really good job for her first movie ever. So, I did.
It was a good cast. It was a good cast.
I did see Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. That was really good as well. Tom Cruise does his own stunts, so that was awesome. But Lilo and Stitch blew it out of the water. So
yeah, it was good.
Fun Memorial Day weekend.
How are we doing on time? Already 15 minutes into the show. And you ready to talk about your mistakes and mishaps?
My mistakes? Oh, don't even go there.
So let's see.
Mr. You've done plenty of mistakes.
We alluded
and mishaps. We both have.
And these are some, we've never had anything major happen. Greg didn't get kicked off the ship. He didn't jump off the ship. Nothing major has happened, but we just kind of was thinking, what are some of the things that, because some of the stuff we learned from it, things that we could have done differently, things to be more aware of. And
definitely be aware of your surroundings.
Yes.
I will say that.
And life is good today.
Woo! Life is good today. Welcome,
Ronnie and Alma. Both of them had their birthdays recently. So
happy belated birthday.
Yes. We talking about the sweatshirt. We had the one gray one, which is kind of a military looking one. It reminds me of a military one.
It slipped off of my luggage.
So the thing is,
I don't know how.
What the learning from that is when you're going on a trip with Greg, make sure he's in front of you. If you give him your sweatshirt, because you had it around your waist, didn't you? And it fell off, or did you have it on your luggage?
I thought I had it on my luggage.
So he lost that, and I was like, great. But normally I go in front of you because I'm notorious for my I have a backpack. It's by Skechers, and if you try to go zip it up to the top, it unzips, and then I have it hanging out, and things can fall out. You have to go all the way full to the other side of it for it not to do that. And several trips we've done. Like we've done it several times. You said, Derek, your stuff is hanging out, or it's falling out.
The traveling Gilberts. Who the heck are those Gilberts?
Who the heck are the Gilberts? But they do go live on Saturday night, so check them out.
You would think that somebody would have turned it in or tried to contact us because it had D&G Explorers all over it, and it said YouTube and everything. But we did not have a good Samaritan to reach out to us.
Probably use it like as toilet paper or something like that.
Oh, that would hurt.
But but that was the reason why usually I'm in front of Greg, because he looks out for me, because I'll put our equipment in like the backpack, like our recording equipment, which isn't much. It's just the not the Drummel, the gimbal, the Drummel, the gimbal,
the Drummel,
the gimbal, and just some other stuff that we'll have in there when we travel. So but we have to order some more sweatshirts as it is anyway.
Well, one, because we still have the other one.
I want to give a different style. They were looking a little bit old anyway. But going along that lines, we don't ever give Greg any glasses either.
Oh my
How many pairs of my glasses have you lost?
Oh my gosh, I sound like Janice from Friends with she always goes, oh my gosh. Do
you remember we were in San Francisco?
Yes, I was looking down at the beautiful ocean and slip right off of my face, kerplunk, into the ocean it went. So I'm sure there's some fish, whale, or dolphin that's out there wearing the sunglasses right now. So
another lesson,
very fashionable for ocean life, I'm sure.
Another lesson to be learned: don't let Greg borrow your glasses.
Well,
you will never see.
No, a lesson to me: make sure that your glasses are either tightly on your face, or don't look down and forget you're wearing glasses and they slip right off. Probably just because of sweat from the heat, it just slipped right off.
Just in terms of things that like some minor stuff as we go along with like packing. What out there have you guys had like mishaps with packing and what you didn't bring? I know on our last trip, our friends, they forgot to take any sweatshirts with them. And I mean, we were going to Mexico, but we're leaving out of San Francisco. And that can be a very, very cold as what we witnessed. There were some days
Until you
that
get
was
to
very cold
until you get to
into
Mexico.
the Mexico area. Yeah, but once you're out in the ocean, it's very cold. But our friends didn't bring any sweatshirts. It was only a 4-night cruise, but we were thinking when we were in San Francisco, oh, you guys got to buy some sweatshirts because you're not going to have any.
Angela, it happened way too fast. There was no time. They were gone.
Greg was like a sloth. He was like,
I was not.
Oh, Darren.
No, I was not. I don't know what you're talking about. Wow. Okay. Am I the sloth from Zootopia?
I still remember that too. We're with Mike and David.
You were sitting down,
Yes.
and I looked up at you, and I was like,
we're on, and
with my mouth open, like, oh my gosh.
We're at the end of Pier 39, which is the
Mhm.
main shopping area of it. We could see right across to Alcatraz. I don't know what you were looking at.
I was looking down at the water. I think there were fish swimming around. I could see.
Some of our, and one thing, this goes along with packing. Some of the mistakes that I've done is not having the right, like the electronic equipment stuff, like the chargers, because we have, I'm looking to see like cords we have. The new iPhones take a different cord. They're the same ones that they use for the Samsung. They're different than the other Apple ones. I can't even get, I don't know. I'm trying to get, by hitting you, I'm trying to.
That doesn't help
remember,
me.
It helps me. But
well, hit your own leg there.
I seem to forget different cruise lines have different ports and things to charge because I didn't have, it was hard for me to find an actual plug to put in what I have because I have one of the ones that you plug them in and they have the different, they have the USB and they have the C. Is that something C? Is that what it's called?
Yes, it's a C plug, I believe.
And right next to a lot of them, they'll have the actual USB ports. Well, my charging stuff I don't have it. And the ones I did have, I didn't bring it. So that's been probably one of our mistakes is like, great, I got things to charge. We were on the Legend. They had 2 different places you could do it. One was behind the TV, and then one was in like the little, because we were in a suite, it was in a vanity area that you could do it. But I like to have my phone near me. Like if I set the alarm, that way I can quickly hit it instead of having to get up, which you're going to have to get up anyway. I don't think that really matters.
Angela left 2 swimsuits and a cover-up on a ship because she failed to do the mom check when packing up.
USB-C, that's traveling favorites. Yeah, have we ever left anything?
I don't think we've ever left clothes on a cruise ship. I left my dress shoes at a hotel one time out by the bay, in the Bay Area, and they actually held them for us, and we drove all the way back out there to pick them up. So that was quite a few years ago. But do you remember that?
I remember the story.
It was in
Santa
Cruz. It was in Santa Cruz.
Huh.
Yep.
Some other stuff that we've had was
I keep a tech bag packed with all the cords permanently stored. We do have bags where we put wires in. I just don't know how we lose them because maybe Derek doesn't put them in places that he should be putting things. He just puts them in any old place.
No, because when I get home, I use them. That's why. So I need to, just like what she has, a permanent travel bag with all the
permanent.
Yes, with the travel stuff in there.
I'm
trying to butter up Teresa. I have to get a new laptop. The buttering is hard work.
Oh wow.
I know our issue
How much
is
butter are you using, Ronnie?
Our computer is running low on memory, and the I spilled, I think it was wine I spilled on the keypad here, and so the A sticks and that far left side sticks. So I think we're trying to hold out. We don't want to get a new computer if we don't have to. Some of the other stuff, again, not always mistakes and mishaps, but the first time we traveled on the NCL Bliss, we were flying from LA to went to Miami, our plane was delayed. So luckily, this was a good thing. We were flying in the day before, but if we didn't, the plane was like completely like done, and they said they were going to get another plane to come in, and we ended up looking at. I'm trying to remember everything. There was another plane that came in, and they said they were going to put our luggage onto that plane. But then we were getting worried that we wouldn't make that plane, so we went and we sat in a line to like a waiting list for another one. So we got there, but then we realized quickly, because you can see on your phone where your luggage is. Our luggage was still on the original flight in LA.
Yep.
So
we had to stay in a hotel.
Luckily we were
We
smart.
got it back the next day though.
We always, in our carry-on, we always have a change of clothes in case something happens. Fresh underwear,
exactly
socks.
Why we do that.
Yeah, and we travel the day before, especially when you go from West Coast to East Coast, because you're already losing 3 hours when you're heading out over there. And what we had to do before the cruise is we had to go. Luckily, it was kind of funny because the same people we saw at the airport, we saw them when we landed in the morning, and some of them didn't try to change flights. They basically stayed at the hotel, and so they were like for like 24 hours. They were all together as a group. We had to go to the airport, pick up our luggage, and then we went to took an Uber to it. Was that when we met that actress?
Yeah, I think so. Yes,
she was from.
She's in
Percy
Jackson. She was in a
Jackson.
lot of movies.
She was the mother in Percy Jackson.
We met Catherine Keener, and she didn't want a lot of people to know, so we kind of like, because I was kind of like, is that? Oh my gosh, I know that voice. And I turned around, and sure enough, it was her. How can you remember a voice like that? Oh my gosh, Real Dead, welcome, Josh, and or Mike, or both.
Well, Mike's actually doing a Mike Lovelace.
Oh yeah.
Fat Life. They're actually doing
welcome.
a live show currently.
Yep.
They didn't do it on purpose. Mike reached out to us and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't realize," or he goes, "I didn't do it on purpose." But
we were
normally
fine
they go.
With it.
Yeah, normally they go live on Thursdays. They're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of their Alaskan cruise trip that they just went on. So check them out. Those that are watching, I'm curious to see. They were on the Royal Princess with Josh and Michelle from Adventures Ahead, and the Real Dead is a side channel. Check them out. Greg also is a guest on there quite a bit.
Okay, Josh.
I told him he's wrong for that.
It wasn't done on purpose.
No.
There's so many channels out that people are bound to be on at the same time. Angela, hey Greg, how are your arms doing? Thank you for asking. They're doing better off and on. I've been doing physical therapy for a while now. I think it's going to end in a couple weeks in June. So, yeah, they still hurt at times. I do stretches every day. And then when I go there, I do things that they ask me to do with weights and stuff. So we'll see. If it doesn't go away, all the way by that time, I don't want to keep doing physical therapy. I could just continue to do stuff at home, because it's kind of pricey, even with insurance. So
Carnival Cruise Addicts, welcome in.
Welcome.
Guys. I hope you're doing well. We love the legend, by the way. We really like the Carnival legend a lot. We're talking about our mistakes and mishaps.
Did you see Trailing Gilbert's? You've been going live on Wednesday for so long.
So if you guys have had any
people might forget
mishaps, mistakes, put them in the chat so we can all kind of learn from some of those. But I guess the thing on that is it's very important to have travel insurance. Now we've cruised a couple of times without travel insurance, not on purpose. We're ones that really like to have it because not only that, if you get hurt, you're going to be covered a little bit more than if you didn't have it. I was afraid on this last
your own medical insurance might cover some of it. If it's an emergency, they cover it.
I don't know if when you're out of the country though.
Yeah, they do. I work for insurance.
It will do that. All right. But we were going on our Segway on the Legend. We did a Segway tour in Ensenada, and I was afraid that
Oh, Josh.
we were something would happen to one of us, so I booked a one Allianz. I booked through them, and normally I like to do it for a year. So traveling, Gilbert says, big mistake, faster to the
That's
fun, not
kind
worth
of what
it.
I was thinking. I was talking to Derek about that the other day, and I said, "What do we get with that again?" And he's naming off like you get on the ship faster, um, you get priority disembarkation, you get priority if you go on tenders. Well, one, if you're not going to a port with a tender, that's out. I don't really care about getting on a ship 1 hour earlier or faster, whatever. It's like whenever you get on it, you get on it. Um, and then getting off the ship, who wants to get off the ship faster? You want to be like the last person and enjoy that ship the last morning, unless you have a flight or something. But for me, I don't think it's worth it. I said to Derek, if you want to pay for it, that's up to you. I don't think it's worth it.
Another benefit is
Controversial cruising.
and it's
Welcome,
got
Dilly Dilly.
Jamie Wilhite also is in here. He put
Welcome,
on there.
Jamie Wilhite.
He put Gilbs. Oh, the Gilberts, I think is what it was on that. The other thing you get is at customer service, you get in with like the platinum and the diamond. So if it's a long line, you don't have to go through with the commoners. You get a quicker access. Not that
Did you just say the commoners?
Like we were commoners on the last cruise. Well, we were suite guests, but they still treated us like commoners when we had to go to customer service.
We're still common even if we're in a suite. Who are you kidding? We're nobody special.
Mary says, I want to get off faster, so much easier. And we've just
if it's easier then.
on our last cruise, we finally went gold on Carnival. So we got a few enhancements, but in order for us to get some of those benefits that you would get with Faster to the Fun, we still have a lot more cruises to go.
Of course, we don't need it anymore, but Faster to the Fun was useless. When we went to Half Moon Cay, they took us to a room to have a boat to ourselves where we were the last boat. Ugh. That was from Traveling Gilbert's, and then Carnival Cruise Addicts used to be cool when the room was ready when you went on a ship. Now nothing ready and no fast luggage.
You know, that's interesting that you say that. And when we went on the Legend, and that's one of the things they were saying, you can drop your luggage off in your room.
We couldn't.
When we asked them, they said, "Oh, I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if it's safe really for you to do that because the rooms aren't ready."
Because all the doors are open, so if people are just going in, they could take. I see what they're saying. They could take the luggage,
but then they also block. They have the doors shut.
Yeah, so you could just open them.
You could.
But I understand where they're coming from, and I would rather have my room nice and clean. Like they put on a fresh bedspread, fresh sheets and everything, take off all the old stuff, get rid of that and put on all fresh new stuff for us. So
now our luggage got there pretty quick, but I don't know if that would have been any different than if we didn't have Faster to the Fun. Well, sorry, I'm wrong because on that one we were suite guests. That's why we got a chance to do. We didn't get Faster to the Fun on this last one. We already have it. But travel insurance, do you guys get travel insurance? Do you not get it? We like to do it just for a little bit of peace of mind. And you keep hearing all these different things that are happening out there just to kind of protect yourselves. Greg didn't realize we get it most of the time because you made a comment, oh, we don't get it. I think one cruise, and that was just because it slipped my mind that we didn't have it and it was too late to really do anything about it. Yeah, I
think you always do it.
Yeah,
you just don't tell me.
I do the booking of it, and I like to do it separately from what the cruise line because they offer a little bit more than Allianz is what we normally go through.
I mean, anything could happen, God forbid, with any age. But I get what you're saying, Carnival Cruise Addicts.
Yeah. Another thing with our flights that we talked about, we did, and this is another learning. We were on our Virgin Scarlet Lady when did we go on that? That was in February.
Not too long ago.
Yeah, we flew out of Fort Lauderdale back, and I saw a note on there saying our flight was changed. and we had a pretty close flight. And then when we got up to the window, we tried to check in the little kiosk, and they wouldn't let us do it. So we had to wait in line. And the lady says, "Oh yeah, your flight's been delayed." I said, "Yeah, I see that." And it was delayed a couple of hours. And then I didn't look at the connecting flight. I thought
Always
it was.
wanna look
I
at your
thought it was.
information.
I thought it was the same. I thought only the first flight had changed because we had to go to Dallas and then Dallas to Fresno, and so I didn't look beyond that. When we got to Dallas, we were going to where we thought we were supposed to be, and it started updating, and it was saying our flight was in a different terminal, and we're like, wait, what's going on here? And I realized they got rid of us off of that one flight, and they moved us to a flight which was 5 hours later. If I would have realized that when we got to Fort Lauderdale, they could have maybe switched us back to that earlier flight, because we were there. We would have made that earlier flight like at 4 o'clock. We didn't get to Fresno until midnight is when we got back in.
We filled in the time. We had something to eat. We relaxed and stuff.
But just as a learning, when there's any travel changes, look to see. And I looked at my ticket, and it sure enough, it said we were on the later flight. And I was like, why didn't I realize this earlier? So mistakes, again, it's part of the learning that you go through.
I will say with traveling, especially if you're taking like buses or trains, beware of your surroundings. Make sure that your luggage and bags aren't hanging outside the door, because that happened to me in England when we were taking the train. The door actually closed on my arm, but I'm like this, holding on to my luggage. I'm like, I'm not letting go.
Greg's on the train and his luggage is on the platform.
And my arm was out, and people were trying to help. And we got the doors back open, so then they pushed my luggage back in with my arm. And then before that, we were going through the turnstile, and we had all this luggage with us, and I got like stuck. I like rammed into the turnstile, and I had to like lug it over. So just be careful of your surroundings and make sure you know what you're doing before you go on things.
We were taking the train that goes underneath the English Channel. We were going from London. We had just visited our family. Well, we were still staying with our family when we got back, but went down to Disneyland Paris. So yeah, klutz and
yes. Well, right. Yep. And I was not letting go of that. I was like this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to pull this thing in.
So
yes, I just need a backpack. Yep.
Something else that the only bad thing about that is a lot of people they don't do that here.
Well, we couldn't.
We were traveling.
We were staying we were going to the Disneyland hotel. So we had in Paris. So we had to take more than what you could fit into a backpack.
Yeah, we actually had both of us had luggage on there. So another funny thing that happened is we were this is when we were on the Sky Princess, and we were in Grand Turk, and Greg had a battle and a stare down with a barracuda. And,
oh my gosh.
We're with Maddie and Scott.
He's gonna exaggerate the story, and I'll set it straight.
We're with Maddie and Scott. Greg is probably, I don't know, 30 yards away, further out, closer, because in Grand Turk, the ship, it's cool because you swim in basically in like the little beach area, and your ship is the background of that. So Greg's out there swimming, and all of a sudden he's like flailing, he's screaming, he's like,
I wasn't
pushing back.
Screaming.
You were, and then
we're
just like staring at him like, what's going on? And he goes, barracuda. There's a giant barracuda out there.
I don't think I said it like that. I did not. Oh yes, and no. Then keep going. I'll set it straight.
And then what we realized is with Princess, they have these bands on like their magnetic bands, and the medallion goes into the bands. When he was flailing, the band, he lost it, and we were trying to. Greg even got like a goggles and mask. He bought one on the island there, and we were trying to go through and find his medallion. Never saw it. And
They just gave me another one.
he
They
had
escorted me
when
to the ship.
when they do
I
like
felt so special. I was escorted.
like the what is it, the duty area, the duty free area, like the ship security, like there's that little shop. When they found out he didn't have it, the guy had to escort Greg to the ship, and then they
I
just
wasn't in
verified him.
trouble or anything, but with the Barracuda, I was swimming leisurely under the water, and I turned and see this huge fish. It looked so close to me, and I saw it, and I was like, underwater, and I jump up out of the water, and that's when I start flailing, and I'm like trying to swim back really quick because I didn't want it to like dart at me. I didn't know if I was in its breeding ground or what, but it was just there. It was humongous. I've never seen a fish that
So
big
you're
like
saying
that.
the Barracuda wanted to breed with you?
No! Oh my gosh. You nasty.
Wow. That just went, a whole
I
story went
can't
differently.
image Greg acting like that at all. I was swimming back really quickly, yes, but no.
It was probably
I
about
think
this big.
It was not. It was a humongo Barracuda.
It wasn't like 6 feet, but it was probably.
It was big. You didn't even see it.
I did, because I went down looking for it, and it
was pretty big.
It was probably 2 feet, 2.5 feet.
It was big,
but it stares at. I mean, they just kind of like go like this, and you can't see it very well, and you just see these eyes like looking at you.
It was humongous when I saw it. It was not very far from me. I was trying to get away from it.
I thought he might have had your medallion in its mouth and was like,
oh saying, yes,
come and get it.
Uh-huh. Come here, let me have my medallion back.
But from what I understand, there's two things that, because they're trying to figure out why
humongous.
Why are they attracted to humans? One is they associate them with food, and the other things
they wanted me as food.
They associate, or the shininess of I
didn't have anything shiny on me.
No, but you're deathly white. So that probably, just the fact that you're so white,
wow,
probably like drew them into them.
Oh yes.
What is this?
Oh yes.
But like shiny things like jewelry and that, they're drawn.
Well, I didn't have any.
They thought, what is this? Deathly white.
Uh-huh.
Is it a beluga? I don't know.
I'm not a beluga. What are you talking about? It's getting bigger every time Greg says something. Greg overreacting, really. Okay, if you were under I know what I saw. Okay, I know what I saw.
Another thing, luckily, this is when cruising, a bad situation can turn out good, and there's good people in the world. We were in Jamaica, and we were in Falmouth, and we did our shopping there. If you're not familiar with it, we were on the Disney Fantasy on that one.
I have no idea where you're going with this.
The Star Wars Day at Sea. And we did some shopping. I had a little backpack with, I think he'd even had like my gimbal was in there too. And we did some shopping. And after we got back onto the ship, we went up to the adult area on there. And Disney Fantasy has a really big adult area.
I know what you're
I left my bag there. It was cruising for it was cruising with wheels. It was their bag
that they gave.
They gave us, yeah.
We didn't take their bag.
No, yeah.
You got to make sure you clarify these things.
So we ate. We went to the buffet. We ate up there on the top deck of it. We went back to the room, and then I was looking for the souvenirs.
More to see. Welcome.
There was magnets in there, and I was going to hang them up because I like to hang them up in our room and kind of look at them as we go to the different places. And I couldn't find them. And I was thinking, where is it? And then I think you went,
where is it?
Where did it go? It's gone. What kind of magic is it?
Oh my god.
It's Disney magic.
Wow.
You're there 1 minute.
Fantasy, actually.
You're there 1 minute and now it's gone. And I think Greg went back to, and it was in the same spot. So one, there's probably a whole lot of people in that area, and they probably figured someone was coming back anyway, but no one took it, and that made me feel really good. So even though it was my mistake, it turned out good. Everything was
Plus,
fine on
they
there.
would still have cameras all over the place and could see who took it, I'm sure, if it happened. So
Another thing that happened, this was on the Scarlet Lady, when we went to in February. My wallet. So
we
about
did talk about it as a whole fiasco.
Yes, but some people might not remember. So I lost my wallet. So
How was that? I lost
my
wallet.
wallet. So I try to keep things with me all the time.
Well, you
The
kinda
last
didn't
time
lose it, but-
time I remember having it was when I felt my butt. Well, not my butt. I felt back. Still doesn't sound right. I wanted to see where my wallet was. I think I had it in my front pocket, and I was afraid that, okay, I don't want it to fall out because I didn't have a zipper in the back. I was wearing shorts, like athletic shorts. So I had them in my front pocket. And then I remember going up to get the luggage down, and I thought possibly when I went to reach up, they were gone. So how do we know it was gone? Our friends Maddie and Scott picked us up at the airport. They had a van, and we went in the van, and I was going to give them money to come and pick us up for the parking. I couldn't find my wallet, and I was like, crap. So then I thought maybe when we put our luggage in, because Maddie needs a what do they call those scooters, electric scooter to get around, and we took that out. We went through our luggage because I had crawled in there. It was a minivan to kind of move things around. Couldn't find it. So then we went. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're still doing good on time. We got 13 minutes. This is a 12-minute story.
Oh my god.
So then we thought, crap. So we went back to baggage claim and to notify who did we fly on? American? If it was American, yeah. And they called the crew
on the
plane to verify, to look around.
He held up a plane. He can literally say he held up a plane.
Yeah. So they were searching for me, which is very nice
no reason,
for American.
Actually, that we find out.
And then we go back on the trip, and I had like
we go back
on
on
my.
trip.
I mean, we had in the car, and we were just saying, okay, well, what are we going to do at this point? I can't really do a whole lot, but I had my credit cards in there for the trip, everything that I had planned, and my extra money. I had like $400-500 in cash in the wallet, and I'm thinking I really screwed myself. But we'll be eating just buffet food the whole time. And then I'm looking down, and all of a sudden I look down at the side door, and I see like a wallet open, and I see like a different colored, like a room key in like shining, and then it hit me. Maddie gave me a room key when we were getting our luggage, when we were already at the minivan at the garage. He had given it to me so we would have, because we were sharing a room. And I was like, I never lost it on there. It was literally down on the side of the door that you open, and I never saw it. Talk about.
Well, at first you were like, you didn't know.
I said, I think I probably cussed. You got to be effing me, I think is what I said. And then they were like, what? And we were even trying before that. We were calling to put a claim on there.
Oh my gosh.
Marks.
Welcome and thank you so much.
How are you doing? Thank you. Really,
happy cruising, guys.
Yes. Have not seen you in a while. I hope you are doing well. Greg, let's get a little bit of a dance
if you can
for them.
Pick a song that you know that it is.
I think it's the last one here, but let's see if we is this it?
Okay, you need a better song than that.
All right, let's do that.
What the heck? You can't even.
5 minutes later.
Thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Wow. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Very nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
We did not know where that wallet was. And I'm like, it was divine intervention that it just showed up.
Talk about like going like you start going through your mind, what do I do? Like and then knowing like I totally screwed myself up, and like everything that we're gonna have to come up and still pay for that we had planned.
They're asking, were you freaking out?
I was. Yes, I was defeated. I was like mad at myself for losing it.
I was freaking out.
Carnival Chris.
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much.
Thank you, Liz and Chris. Very nice of you.
I was freaking out that we found it. Oh wow, we're like huge now. The barracuda was huge.
All right, they want to see it.
Please don't do twinkle, twinkle, little star.
All right, let's do this one. Wait. No.
Oh my gosh, pick a song. This is, you can't do anything with this.
I know.
Wow.
Here we go.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I popped my neck on that one.
Oh wow. Why are we doing that?
Yeah, that was a one of the most terrifying moments of I think any time that we have done, and to know that I did it to myself. And
It was there the whole time.
I know, but that's how
you probably forgot you put it there, and all the commotion was going on. You're like, oh my god, where's my wallet?
And the thing is, I have no idea when I took it out of. I must have put it in right away.
It was probably a split.
But I don't remember even going on that side because I was going on the passenger side, and it was on the driver's side. So how it got in there, no idea. I have no recollection.
Oh yeah, I was going up the stairs. I asked the construction guy because they were doing something with the escalator. I said, "Can I go up the stairs and look for a wallet?" He's like, "Yeah." And I go up there, and I got too close to the outcoming door where you would walk out that I set the alarm off, and it started talking to me, and I'm like, "Okay, I know, I'm going. I'm getting away from it." So I went back downstairs. I mean, they had a camera there and everything, and it set the whole thing off.
All right, so yeah, that was probably the most tragic one.
Well, you're gonna pick that up later. Yeah.
Another thing is
great job, guys. LOL. Yep. Losing wallets, setting alarms off, seeing huge barracudas.
Another thing that something we learned from again is when we
Why are you clutching your pearls?
Clutch my pearls. When we were on the NCL Encore, we had booked that one previously, and then we moved it to a different date. When we had it originally, we had 2 additional nights that we paid for, so we had 4 specialty dining. We verified with our travel agent that we had it, but we didn't do any further than that, and didn't like validate it with what was listed, because she said, yes, you have it. She spoke to the NCL rep on the phone. She said, yes, they have this, but it didn't translate onto our booking. So when we went to our 3rd specialty dining, which was Greg and I like to have one dinner that we just go.
And it was our last time at that restaurant, because that restaurant's not there anymore.
Ocean Blue.
That was a sign.
They said we didn't have any more dining for it. We said, what?
It kind of ruined it.
It did.
But we
didn't even
tried to make up what we could for the night. We tried to, make out what it was.
Yeah.
Or no, that doesn't sound right. We tried to make the best of it. Thank you.
But during dinner, I went down to customer service. They were trying to do from then. I actually was contacting our travel agent, which is one of the benefits of having a travel agent. If you're able to have the capacity to do that on ship, she was able then to figure it out with them.
Well, luckily we were able to get a hold of her, because she might not have been available either.
And it turned out they said they would call us and let us know. They never did. But the next night we did teppanyaki, and they had no issues. And I said, oh, does it show that we paid for it? And they said, yeah, there's no issues. So we knew that it was corrected, but we could have given us less of a heartache if we would have looked and challenged it and said, hey, wait, this doesn't show that we have it. We have it. What do we need to show?
Less agita.
Yes. Yes. And then the last big thing as we come up to the last 5 minutes is My very first cruise. This is without Greg. This is the first time I went on a cruise. It was in 1993. It was on the big red boat on the Atlantic, and a defunct cruise line now.
It wasn't that big of a
It
boat.
was a little tugboat to even Carnival back then. Talking about, didn't even have any balconies on it. It was all ocean view rooms. I had Ben from Pepper Tree Villa.
Welcome from Pepper Tree Villa. Welcome.
We had an inside cabin. I was going with my cousin Mike. We went to Walt Disney World for the first time, and then we backed it up with a 3-night cruise to. We went to the Bahamas. We went to Nassau, and we went to Freeport, I think, too, was the other one. Grand Bahamas, I think, is what it was. And I got seasick within the first day. We left probably 4:30. By 6 o'clock, I was throwing up, and I was throwing up all night long. It was horrendous. There was nothing to come up. And I just remember
how can you be throwing up if there's nothing to come up? You were just dry heaving.
It was like slimy, and it had like red streaks in it. And I was like, this
like dry heaving,
horrible. And I would always I still get motion sickness very easy. And even when I started to try to take the pills, wasn't having it. I couldn't keep it down. And then the next day we were on land, and I was able to start keeping the pills down, and I was fine. But that was horrible. And then going in the warm air, we were behind the smokestack.
Well, not if you take Dramamine, Ben. You should be okay.
Yes. Behind the smokestack, I was trying to get the breeze. And the hardest thing on some Caribbean cruises, sometimes you get warm breeze, and then you get a cool breeze. And that was with the smokestack. I was trying to find a spot to do it, and that was making me sick. And then they said, go in your room, stare at a point in the wall, and just focus on that. That didn't help. So that was horrible.
You were trying to breathe in air by the smokestack.
No, well, where I was, there was chairs. There was chairs back
pollution.
there. There was chairs back there, but I was just trying to find a spot that would make me feel better, and I thought the ocean air might make it better. But now I plan with I get the C bands. I take Dramamine the night
the
before.
Pressure points are on the inside, not the outside.
I take them the night before we go on the cruise, so in the excitement, I don't forget to take them. This last one on Legend, I took them earlier, like at 5 o'clock, and it made me very sleepy. Even though I get the non-drowsy ones, they have an effect on me where I get sleepy. So I need to learn to take them when I go to bed, which is like 10 o'clock. But I got off cycle, and I was afraid if I didn't have them
point in the room,
if I took them later than that, after the 24 hours, I would get sick. So I was taking them like around 5 o'clock right before we went to dinner. And I think that had an effect on me, at least for my sleepiness. I wasn't sick on there.
I would also suggest like the week before you go on your cruise, start loading up on vitamin C, vitamins and minerals. I like to take Airborne because that's just loaded with vitamins and minerals. Have one a day to help your immune system, because people tend to get sick on cruises, or if you have to fly, you're breathing in all that recycled air, so that'll help you out as well. So that's another thing that you could do.
So we haven't had a whole lot of mistakes and mishaps on the cruise, on trips. I feel kind of we feel fortunate for that.
Cycle.
Yes. I'm talking about the pills.
No. I get car sick and seasick on small boats, but totally fine on the big ships as long as it isn't rocky. Finally made it home. Thanks for all the laughs.
Thank you.
I'm glad you got home safely.
Well, Greg, we made it to the top of the hour. We didn't fall off and didn't slip off the chair and have another mishap, which is...
That would be you slipping off the chair.
Right.
But thank you very much, everybody, for watching us and supporting us.
Yes.
And thank you again,
Spur
Carnival
Mark.
Cruise Addicts and Spur Marks, for the super chats. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And Traveling Gilbert says, never had any kind of sickness, but I bet it's horrible. Terrible. Yeah,
it can be.
It's the motion. Like if I'm reading and Greg like stops, I get that motion, that kind of pull. That's what gets me like, ooh,
Well, do you want me to stop or you want me to keep going and potentially that would not be a good thing.
Mm.
So sometimes you're talking about when I'm driving. So yeah.
Yes. But it's the way you do it. Like
sometimes I have to hit the
I
brake.
know. And I'm not saying you do it on purpose. It's not the size of the ship, it's the motion of the ocean. And I'm fine with it because with the Dramamine, like Greg will say, oh, the ship, I'm feeling the ship, the rockiness of it. And I'm like, it doesn't affect me at all. So I swear by Dramamine, I swear by the C-bands.
We get off the ship, off the when the cruise is done, and sometimes we still feel like we're on the ship for like a week after.
I did that. You were doing it more than me this time, but I usually have that for almost 2 weeks. But
thank you again, everybody.
Yes.
And we will be back soon. And thank you for joining us. I'm Gregory.
I'm Derek. If you forget our names, it's okay, because I'm Little Explorer.
And I'm Big Explorer.
And as Walt Disney once said,
we are just getting started. Have a good evening, everybody.
The late Sir Gary of the Beaches kick off our
Dilly
StreamYard
dilly.
closing.